Hi there, welcome back to Still Waters ASMR. It has just started to rain, so if you hear the sounds of rain in the background, that's why. Today we're going to be looking through this box. My husband and I got it for Christmas from one of his cousins, and it is a mega retro sweets and chocolate box. And I got permission from my husband to steal it to do a video with. Today's video, there will be no eating sounds, just like looking through the box. So if you don't like mouth sounds, don't worry, because there will be no eating in this video. And yeah, we're just going to be looking through the box and seeing what's inside. They've got some like vintage cartoon pictures on the outside. I'm not sure if I recognise any of the characters or if they're actually meant to be anything that I would recognise. But it's in the style similar to like the Beano and Dandy and those sorts of cartoons that were big when I was a kid. They were like the staples of childhood, really. I think the Dandy was produced in Dundee. And yeah, so that was kind of like, my granny had a bunch of old cartoon like magazines that we used to sit and look through. I can almost smell them just thinking about it. She had like a box of them. So you had things like the Beano and the Dandy, Dennis the Menace and Gnasher and Desperate Dan, and I'm trying to think what other characters, the Numpskills, and then of course you had Urwally and the Bruins, the Scottish cartoons. So yeah, it's we're just going to open the box up and have a look inside and see what we can see. See what I recognise and what I don't. So first up, we have got a chocolate variety pack. It's Nestle chocolate, and it's a 6-pack. We have got Munchies, Yorkie, an Aero peppermint, a Kit Kat chunky, Toffee crisp, and a Rolo. I remember when Kit Kat Junkies came out, I think that was when I was a teenager, and Yorkies were a big thing when I was a teenager too, because they had the whole "it's not for girls" thing, and totally meant that we bought them and ate them. And then there was the advertising for Rolos about, you know, who do you love enough to give your last Rolo. So yeah, so that is a 6-pack of chocolate, chocolate bars. And like sweeties. So yeah, all of these are all ones I'm very familiar with. I always felt Munchies were quite a special treat because I didn't get them very often. I used to eat a lot of toffee crisps back in the day. So here we've got Swizzle's Double Dip, orange and cherry flavour fizz tips with a swizzle stick. Now this is something that I never actually had, but I know were like a big thing when I was a kid. So there's like 2 different types of dip, and then you dip the thing in. What I don't know is, do you eat the stick or is it just a dippy dip? I don't know. Like, I don't know if the swizzle stick is something that you actually like eat as well, if it's just a stick that you literally just use for dipping. So yeah, I've never actually had one of those before, but it's something I recognise. And then we've got the Mr. Tom Peanuts in Caramel. Again, this is not something I recognise, but it sounds really good. That sounds very good. looks like it's just basically peanuts in like a toffee caramel, just formed into a bar, which sounds amazing. That, I might pinch that. And then we've got a twirl. I've always loved twirls, Cadbury twirl. I've always preferred twirls to flakes. Now twirls and flakes are very, very similar. It's that kind of like folded chocolate, except twirl has got a coating of chocolate on the outside to kind of hold it together, whereas a flake doesn't. And I find that when you eat a flake, it just falls apart. And then you lose bits of chocolate, and then it's always annoying. Whereas at least this is like a because it's got the layer of chocolate on the outside, it holds it together, and I like that. Right, and then we've got a Cadbury Time Out wafer biscuit. I never really had these as a kid, but I've had them as an adult. I discovered them actually fairly recently. And then we've got a Wham original with sour crystals. Now this feels like it's one of those chewy bars that like destroy your teeth, that get stuck in your teeth and glue your mouth shut. I remember there was like a Highland toffee. Was it Highland toffee? It was like a chewy bar, and it was like it just glued your mouth shut. We've got Curly Whirly. These have got like a really cool pattern on the inside, like with holes and stuff. And it's chewy toffee covered in chocolate. Again, another one to get stuck in your teeth. And then of course we have got a Milky Bar. A classic Milky Bar. White chocolate. And there's always things like printed on them. Pictures and things. I used to always love seeing what the picture was. And it's yeah, the Milky Bar kid obviously in the adverts. And then we've got one of the necklaces. I've literally just recorded a video going through my daughter's Halloween candy, and there was one of these. I've never seen it in a wrapper before because you always got them just, I don't actually know where I used to get them, like in terms of like how they were presented. My cat's having a little Sumi session. So yeah, they were like mandatory part of growing up. And then we've got drumstick. I think it's burst a little bit. There's like gooey stuff coming out. So we've got the Swizzlers drumstick. Now I'm used to seeing them as like lollies, and so it's like a little drumstick on a lolly. I'm not used to seeing them as a bar like this. But yeah, one of these sort of chewy bars that keeps kids quiet for a little while. What's this one? This one is a Stinger. The cheekiest chew bar on the planet. A tutti frutti chew bar with a fizzy centre. Interesting. I was never into these chew bars as a kid really, so we've got another one. We've got a Vimpto chew bar. I just knew Vimpto was a juice rather than a chew bar. And then we've got Refreshers, original lemon flavour chew bar, and we've got a Refreshers strawberry flavour chew bar. These weren't the kind of sweets I would go for as a kid. I mean, I remember seeing this sort of sweets in the shops, but it's never the kind of things I would go for. I was usually the chocolate bar kind of person. And also we didn't get to have many sweets growing up. Deprived childhood. Now these are things I remember. Parma Violets. I don't actually like the flavour, but I've eaten a lot of them in my time. They often come in like selection bags of sweets. And then Fizzers. Now these are good. They like fizz away in your mouth. And then another one of Fizzers. Oh, and then we've got Love Hearts. I was going to say there needs to be Love Hearts. Your good old classic Love Hearts. with the messages on them. My cat has just started purring really loudly. Oh, here we go. Here's the drumsticks I was talking about. These are the ones like what I'm used to seeing, although it's kind of gooped everywhere. So that's the sort of drumsticks I'm used to seeing. I used to love these. We got another one here. I wonder if this got warm at some point. It's like melted everywhere. Look at the size difference. Yes, it's not for 0 to 3 years old. Now this one is a Love Heart lipstick. Oh my gosh. It's like... That is so funny. It is the... like the Love Heart material, but in a lipstick. That's hilarious. The things that kids love. And then we've got one of these sorts of lollies. It's double, oh, it's, yeah, the double lollies have got like the 2 different colours, different flavours. I'm never quite sure. Does it actually have a flavour, or is it just that? We've then got your classic fruit lollies, like the ones you get at the, I say the dentist, but it's normally the doctors when you've got an injection and they give you a lolly for being good. Oh, here's another one of the lollies, the ones with like the, it's similar sort of material as your Love Hearts and your this kind of candy. It's basically just sugar. Right, this thing, what is this thing? Sherbet fountain. Sherbet with a licorice dip. Oh. Well, that sounds interesting. I don't like licorice though, so my husband can have that one. She says generously. See, all these kind of things, I never, because as a kid I have memories of like going and visiting my friend and going to the corner shop. Now, we didn't live in the village, so we weren't able to like go to the corner shop, and I have this like idea in my head that childhood is all about like popping to the corner shop with your pocket money and buying like one of those kids magazines with some of these kind of sweets. And I didn't get that experience, but I knew other kids who did, and that for me that was like childhood. But A, we barely got pocket money, and B, we didn't live anywhere near a corner shop, so I didn't get those magazines with the random candies and stuff. We have got Tango apple popping candy. So again, when I was a kid, Tango was a juice, like a fizzy juice, like a, you know when you've been tangoed. It's like a Fanta. So yeah, they've got little sachets of popping candy. Oh, fruit salads. I never liked fruit salads really very much. So there's a handful of fruit salads. And then there's blackjacks, which I think, if I remember rightly, was licorice. These are, yeah, I'm pretty sure blackjack's licorice. So they're the sort of things that would come in those, like selection packs. And we've got bubbly, blue is bigger, but this is chewing gum. I remember Hubba Bubba when I was a kid. So yeah, proper like chewing gum that blows big bubbles. And then we've got another, this is Refreshers sour apple flavour. And then we've got a Vimpto lollipop. I seem to remember there was a drink you made using Vimpto. No, it wasn't Vimpto. It was called Cheeky Vimpto, and it was Blue Wicked and beer or something like that, and it came out looking and tasting like Vimpto or something. I can't remember now. I'll need to Google it. I've got Love Hearts, but it was like an alcoholic drink. I remember from back in the day. Oh, we've got another, oh, it's a whistle. does this work? So we have a whistle. Oh, it's just like the lipstick. It's exactly the same as the lipstick, except you've got a whistle so you can make noise too. It's basically the exact same as the lipstick, except it's got a whistle. That's quite funny. Okay, and then we have got, what's that? 10 grams. Fruit flavour sherbet. I take it it's like meant to be lemon. Oh, there's like a weird little face on it. That's kind of freaky. Strange. Oh, we've got some more Parma violets. Right, we have got some white mice. Yeah, white chocolate flavour. White mice, not actually made out of white chocolate at all. And then we've got Jazzles milk chocolate flavour candy buttons with a candy topping. So yeah, these are like chocolate buttons with sprinkles basically. I remember these from when I was a kid. And then we have got a quarter of the best sweets ever. Chomp away on these fun chewy classics. I'm seeing mushrooms. Oh, there we go. Cola bottles. Those horrible banana things. So it's like a variety of different like foam sweets. Oh, those are like those apple things. Some like sour, chewy, fruity, all sorts of different. So that's the kind of things you get in like pick and mixes and things like that. Back when I was a kid. Yeah, so back when I was a kid, you used to be able to get like little bags of sweets at the shops for like 10 pence. It would have an assortment of this sort of thing in it. So yeah, so we've got, let's have a look through what we've got. We've got your classic bag of sweets. Assorted gums, jellies and soft candy. Yeah, here we go. Remember your trips to the local sweet shop. You looked in wonder at the brightly coloured temptations in the jars and boxes of sweets, deciding what would end up in your little white paper bag or straight into your mouth. What were your favourites? At a quarter of .co.uk, you'll find an online sweet shop crammed with around 650 types of sweets, old and new. We stock the penny sweets you used to buy with your pocket money, those multicoloured highlights of your school week that you thought they'd stopped making years ago. We even sell space dust. Take a trip down memory lane and enjoy once more the sweets you love from your childhood sweet shop. You'll find loads you've forgotten about too. They're often the best. Come and see what you've been missing. So these people are basically just cashing in on nostalgia, which is it's a lucrative market. There was a shop on the main like high street in Larwick here in Shetland that had jars of sweets up behind the counter when I was little, and then by the time I was older they dropped all the jars of sweets. Like in more recent years, like when I was in high school, we'd go down there at like break times and stuff, like at lunchtime, and you were able to get like a bag of sweets. You know, your rhubarb and custard and your bonbons and that kind of thing. And then they stopped doing it, and then just like literally the other month the shop closed for the last time, and it is no more. They did like sandwiches and things. It's really sad when you see things you remember from a kid shutting down. But we also used to have like, you know, tuck shop at the school that had sweets and crisps, and I think nowadays I think it's just fruit. They don't do sweets and crisps, and I'm kind of like, as much as I'm all for healthy eating and encourage children to eat healthy, like that's what part of childhood is eating junk, you know, having your sweets and things like that, and it's fond memories. That's how come, like, when my in-laws are spoiling my daughter and giving her sweets, I can't really tell them off, because that's the best memories I have of my granny, is her like always giving us sweets. She was amazing. She always had sweets, and our sweeties, as we call them. So yeah, it's funny because I think because I lived rural, out in the middle of nowhere, and I missed out a lot on the kind of like after school activities other kids did in town. You know, other kids in the village go to like the youth club, and they go to like hang out together, and they go to the shop, and I think there was a lot of things I kind of was quite wistful about that I felt like I missed out on. But then I don't actually know how much those kids did those things. I just, in my head, I kind of, you know, when you don't have something, it's like amazing. You kind of build up in your head. But yeah, so we've got the assorted sweets. We've got your blackjacks and your fruit salads, which I was never a big fan of. We've got some good old chewy bubble gum. We've got the pretend chocolate, the chocolate flavoured buttons, and with the sprinkles and the white mice. We've got your hard candy lollipops. We've got your I don't even know what that is. It's kind of like, it's hard, but like not fruit boiled candy. It's like its own little thing. We've got our love hearts and our Parma violets and our fizzers and our drumsticks, which are kind of gooing everywhere. That's quite disgusting. We have got popping candy, we've got sherbets, we've got random lipsticks and whistles and necklaces. We have got a whole assortment of chewy candy bars. A whole bunch of them. And we've got some chocolate bars. Some more sherbety stuff. A peanut bar. And a selection pack of chocolate. So yeah, a nice little trip down nostalgia lane. I said a lot of the things I've never actually really experienced. Well, no, actually that's a lie. There's only a few things I haven't really experienced, because actually a lot of these things I have had, or variations of. Oh, dearie me, yawning away. But I hope you're all keeping well, and I'm going to go put these back in the box. What I might do is I might do a video sampling some of these, but I'm going to show them what's in here to my husband first. I don't want to just go and eat. Like, it was a present for all of us from somebody in his side of the family, so I don't want to go and eat it all. That would be rude. So I'll, you know, see if there's any old favourites of his that he can have. But I want to just do like an unboxing and share it all with you guys, because I always find these kind of things quite interesting, see what's inside. Yeah, and I hope you take care, and I'll see you again in a video sometime soon. Bye bye.